So hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome to episode 11 of our season 2 here on F1 Manager 24. Now if you didn't watch the last episode, my word, talk about needing something better than a stone on a bit of string for a weather centre. We certainly needed it in Barcelona because the rain didn't come when we wanted it to. Lando Norris comfortably won from his teammate Oscar Piastri. We finished down in P16, Fittipaldi P19 after a little bit of a collision with Zhou Guanyu as well. It wasn't our finest Grand Prix, it must be said, but just to bring you up to date with what's happening behind the scenes, we are currently refurbing a lot of our facilities, particularly in the car development centre and the operations as well. So that's something what's happening. In terms of car part development, we're developing a new rear wing for this season, but we're also focusing a lot of research on the underfloor for next season as well. So hopefully we should have a very competitive car next season. Now, bring you up to date with the standings. Constructor standings wise, McLaren are leading from Red Bull, Ferrari in P3 and Aston Martin in P4. Driver standings wise, Lando Norris is leading by 14 points from Max Verstappen, Piastri P3 and Leclerc in P4. If we have a look at the F2, we can see that Andrea Kimi Antonelli is leading the way for Trident at this moment in time. Zay Maloney in P2. Constructors, I'm guessing Trident are top. They very much are from MP Motorsport. And in F3, Rodin Motorsport leading from Trident with Tommy Smith, possibly one of the most English sounding names, at the top of the leaderboard with Lawrence Van Hopen in P2 and Rafael Villagomez in P3. Now we go to Austria this weekend. This might be a circuit that suits our car. If we have a look, we're expecting rain on Sunday. Oh my word, that weather centre is going to get used once again. Car attributes, high speed cornering, very, very crucial. Acceleration, DRS effectiveness, something we're not brilliant at, also very much needed. Expected strategy is normally a two-stop, but again, if we've got a lot of rain, we can look forward to a chaotic Sunday. And we've got a sprint on Saturday as well, so a slightly longer episode coming your way from the Red Bull Ring. So I'm going to get through practice, and I'll see you in sprint qualifying. Well, we come towards the end of sprint quali, and it must be said Fittipaldi's just about got himself into sprint quali too, but Hauger out in SQ1. Well, Enzo Fittipaldi was that slow on that final flying lap that he got overtaken by Valtteri Bottas. To be fair, he's put the car currently in P12. As we fast forward on, we can see that's down to P15. Not our day, it must be said. And Fittipaldi finishes P15. Let's have a look at the SQ3 results. So Piastri will be on pole position for the sprint. Verstappen in P2 with Norris and Lawson on row 2. We've got 15 for Fittipaldi, 19 for Hauger. Let's see what tyres we'll be using in the sprint. Right, ladies and gents, 24 laps around here. Nothing too funky. Both cars on the medium tyre. Let's just try and avoid any incidents.
Here in Austria, we're all ready to go for the sprint. And it's lights out, and away we go.
And away we go. We're going to keep an eye on this Piastri and Verstappen battle at the start, because it looks like Piastri's got away well, as has Lando Norris. It looked like there could possibly have been a touch between Verstappen and Norris there, but Norris is into P2. We can see Fittipaldi's had a blazing start. He's up in to P13. Great start from him. Hauger dropped back to P17 at this moment in time. But my word, there's a big gap between Perez and the rest of the field as it all gets very, very close. But we can see Hauger dives to the inside up to P16 now in front of Daniel Ricciardo. Fittipaldi P13, but Piastri leads away. Fittipaldi is making some moves, and as we can see from the cockpit cam, Perez is to his left-hand side and he gets the move done. We've already had a couple of spins in this Grand Prix. We didn't manage to catch the replay, but Max Verstappen, Fittipaldi is enjoying his day in Austria so far. But let's just have a little look at this, because Max Verstappen had a spin. We didn't get to catch it on replay, and he's all the way now back down in P21. There's cars flying around everywhere. Leclerc now struggling at this moment in time, and this has promoted Fittipaldi to P9. And it must be said now, Fittipaldi is 2 seconds away from the point scoring positions. Can he possibly get points here? Oh my word, Perez has just forced Fittipaldi massively wide. Let's have a look. Do we get an option of seeing what happens to Charles Leclerc? So Leclerc just down the inside, and Hauger goes around the outside of the Ferrari. I can't see any damage on that Ferrari at this moment in time, but he will have enjoyed that. Leclerc and Verstappen right at the back here in this sprint. Fittipaldi in P10 and fighting all the way with Perez as we ride back on board. Will he go for a move around the outside? Fittipaldi, he keeps his foot in, he runs wide, and that is not an overtaking position. Fittipaldi will be disappointed with that. Lap 4. Russell's got Fittipaldi, and Fittipaldi was fighting with Perez. It looked pretty comfortable, but then as you can see, Russell managed to get himself in. Perez cut to the outside, and Russell took his opportunity down the inside of the young Brazilian driver. Fair play to George Russell. That is a decent move, and it must be said he enjoyed that as well. Still, Norris is leading from Piastri, but it's a freeway battle for the lead here. As we can see, going up towards turn 3, it's going to be Piastri who now gets the lead. Will Sainz go for a move down the inside? He certainly will. Doesn't quite manage to get it done. Fittipaldi now P11, Hauger P16. Hauger's dropping some positions here, and as we can see, it's now Charles Leclerc. We'd expect to drop his position to Charles Leclerc, to be fair. Are we feeling pretty confident about race pace for tomorrow? At this moment in time, Fittipaldi's definitely showing it. Hauger's not having a very good day, and Leclerc enjoyed that one, getting past the Lotus. We can see Fittipaldi now drop down to P14. He's really starting to struggle in the middle stints of this sprint race. Will he now come back at the VCARB car? Let's have a look at this. Can he get down the inside of him? Is he going to go for the move? He tries his best to, but backs out of it. Fittipaldi now down to P14. He's dropping positions. There is a massive ding-dong battle going on for P9 here. We now see Nico Hülkenberg in the RB. Let's have a little look at this. He goes down the inside into turn 1. I mean, Fittipaldi squeezed him, and that is very aggressive. And it must be said, Fittipaldi got knocked back a little bit from that, it must be said. But now Fittipaldi's still in P11. Perez and Albon still in his sides. Could he possibly score a point today? I mean, Lawson's struggling with an engine problem at this moment in time. Hauger's down in P17 now. He's basically done for the day. So for a change, it's all eyes on what Fittipaldi can do. And let's have a look at this, because you can see he's got that DRS wide open. The RB behind can't really gain him. Albon defends one. Will Fittipaldi go for the jugular around the outside? Let's have a look. He goes round one, and again, he's not learning from his previous errors. And look at the state of this. Just drives off the track. That lets a couple of cars pass, and that's why Fittipaldi has been subject to much speculation of possibly leaving the team. I mean, what have we literally just said? He's just ran wide into the final corner, and he's lost 6. Yes, 6 positions. He seems to like driving on the grass, Fittipaldi. That is so disappointing. Oh, where do you go from there? Anyway, Lando Norris is still leading. Piastri is giving chase, as is Carlos Sainz. Lando Norris looks like the man in form at the minute. And spare a thought for Alexander Albon, P9, just not getting a point today, but Liam Lawson, he's hanging on in that Ferrari. Final lap then, and as you can see, Lando Norris looks like he's got it won. We're going to just have a quick look at what has happened to Hauger here, because we can see Lando Norris has got that one. Hauger DRS enabled on the kick Sauber, and Max Verstappen around the outside. He gets squeezed out. And there we see it. At least he didn't go off the track and lose another 8 positions. But Hauger down in P17, Fittipaldi P20. He should be very disappointed with his drive this afternoon. Sainz picks up P3. And as we fast forward on, we'll fast forward towards the end, as you can see. But yeah, very disappointing for the Lotus boys. Let's get to the classifieds. So there we have it then. Lando Norris winning very well indeed. Piastri in P2, Sainz in P3. Then comes Stroll, Bottas, George Russell gained 12 positions on the day. Alexander Albon in P10, and Liam Lawson got the final points paying position. Disappointing from both our drivers. Let's see how we go on in qualifying. Final laps in Q1 then, and here comes Fittipaldi running a little bit wide again at turn 3. Where can Fittipaldi put this Lotus? Goes to P11 provisionally. We can see Hauger now coming around the final couple of corners. He was green through the first and second sectors as well. Could he put in a stonking lap? Where does Hauger go? He goes P13. As we fast forward on, it's all eyes on the people below us, and we managed to get into Q2 with both cars. Here we go then, final flying laps in Q2, and Hauger is giving it absolutely everything. Could he book a spot in Q3 as Hauger crosses the line? Where does he go? It's only good enough for P14, but Fittipaldi also green through the first and second sectors as he comes up to the line. Can he improve on P16? He goes P15. Zhou is yet to cross the line though. As he does now, he will stay in P14 and P15. So not the worst qualifying in the world. A lot of rain to come on Sunday, but as we go to the Q3 results, Lando Norris and Oscar Piastri make it another McLaren front row lockout. Verstappen in P3, Leclerc in P4, and we see Hauger and Fittipaldi further down the grid. This promises to be an eventful Sunday. Let's have a look what the weather's got in store. I mean, ladies and gentlemen, just look at what our data screen, what our strategy team has presented me with here. So we've got Hauger that's suggesting going wets then inters. We've got Fittipaldi going inters. I mean, where do you start? What we do know is we're going to start on the soft compounder tyre. It's going to absolutely hammer it down after 8 laps. Then it's going to start to dry up, and then it's a dry end to the race. So the only thing that we know for sure on this strategy is we start on the soft compounder tyre. I'm expecting safety cards and everything here. Let me know what you think is going to happen down in the comments. P13, P14. Let's see how we go.
The anticipation is really building here. The fans in attendance are absolutely buzzing with excitement. There's a lot of talk about that man, Nico Hülkenberg.
Being back in P18 is going to prove to be a significant challenge. Will the team thrive on the pressure, or will it be too much?
So let's see what today has in store, shall we? It's the race we've all been waiting for. It's the Austrian Grand Prix. And it's lights out, and away we go.
And away we go. We're keeping an eye on Lando Norris. Everyone is in the soft compounder tyre, and we'll have a little look at what it means for the strategy in a little moment. We'll have a look at what the weather radar is saying. Not that that makes any difference to us whatsoever, because Lando Norris leads away from Piastri, Verstappen in P3, then comes Leclerc, Bottas, Gasly and Stroll again, P6 and P7. The Aston Martins very, very comfortable at the moment. We can see Lawson struggling a little bit. We can see Fittipaldi and Hauger side by side. It's all happening here in the run up to turn 4, but it is Hauger who's got the better of his teammate. He's now in P13. We've got a yellow flag on the circuit. We've got a car spinning out. I'm trying to keep an eye on who that possibly could be. Is it Carlos Sainz? Carlos Sainz down in P21. It isn't. It's Frederick Veste who was spun at turn 3. Let's have a little look. Disappointing for him. I mean, that's one car that Carlos Sainz hasn't got to make a difficult pass on today. But Veste now all the way at the back. That's not ideal for him. But P13 and P14, decent start for us. But let's have a look at the weather, because oh my word, is it going to spike? It's going to be wet weather tyres for possibly quite a lot until we get to lap 26:30, maybe even longer than that. So it's definitely wet compound tyres in a few moments time. The rain is pouring here at the Red Bull Ring in Spielberg, and now we've got a very crucial decision to make, because one car is going to have to come in on this lap. The other car will have to go 1 lap longer, as Hauger has got he's in the lead. We are possibly going to bring Hauger in on this lap, Fittipaldi on the next lap. We'll see how this all plays out, as we can see Hauger going for a move on Bottas, and it's a lovely move indeed. We'll see what other cars pit into, but Hauger's in this lap. Leclerc is the first one to pull the trigger. We've got a few cars pitting. Neither of our cars have pit yet, so Hauger's in this lap. We're going on to the full wet compounder tyres. Let's just have a look. We've got some cars carrying on. We've got other cars not doing, and let's have a little look how this all plays out, because there are a lot of cars on the soft compound. Leclerc is on to the wets, as are a couple of other cars, including Ricciardo and Albon, although Ricciardo's onto intermediates. We can see that Albon's onto the wets. Oh my word, we've got to get strategy right today, but Hauger and Fittipaldi will both be in on this next lap. If ever we needed 2 absolute classic pit stops, this would be the time to do it, because in comes Hauger and Fittipaldi is going to be the first one into the box. What is going to happen here? My word, who knows? Into the box comes Fittipaldi. We need a decent pit stop. Is it a decent pit stop? It is. Does he get held? He certainly does. Look at the wait time for Fittipaldi. It was a cracking stop, but he gets held by the traffic. Hauger is now into the pit. Stroll's getting held. Fittipaldi manages to get away, as does Hauger. Fittipaldi is up to P11. That's worked well for us. P16 for Hauger. Fittipaldi is the man who has gained their Piastri. Oh my God, what are you doing, McLaren? He's tiptoeing around the Spielberg circuit at the moment. We've got both Lotus cars now pushing on the outlap. What can they do here? We're going to burn a little bit of ERS as well. Piastri, he's not doing well at the moment. Gasly's on the inters. He's going to be loving this at this moment in time. Vesti's not pit either. Oh my word, this is going to be a chaotic Grand Prix. Alexander Albon is pitting from the wet compounder tyre onto another set of wet compound tyres. Whatever this strategy is from Williams, I am not too sure. We're just trying to get our tyres back into the right window at this moment in time. Ricciardo and Porsche are going to start struggling very, very quickly as this rain continues to pour down. We can see it's going to be wet for the foreseeable future. We're just getting our tyres banged right now with Hauger as well. P11 for Fittipaldi is looking very, very nice indeed. Hauger at the moment as well. He's just getting the tyres right, but I think he's in a decent position. Norris leads by 4.2 seconds. Piastri, my word, he won't be happy with his team at all. But Charles Leclerc, 73%. Them extra couple of laps that he did have killed his wet compound tyres. Théo Pourchaire went on to Inters. He didn't work. He's now on a set of wets, and that has promoted Fittipaldi into the top 10. And Daniel Ricciardo, I can't imagine that he's going to be staying out too longer on these. Is he going to weather this storm, so to speak, on the Inters? Is Pierre Gasly going to weather the storm? We can see now that Enzo Fittipaldi is right on the back of Daniel Ricciardo, and Ricciardo is struggling. Ricciardo is struggling and Fittipaldi is past him. Let's have a little look at this into turn one. He's got the traction. Lovely work from Enzo Fittipaldi, and that is him into the points paying positions now in that Lotus car. Is today going to be the day? Let me know down in the comments that we finally get a point this season. I do like Austria. It must be said, Hauger and Fittipaldi's tyres just going a little bit cool. We're just going to now be a bit more aggressive on them. We expect Sainz to pass us. Losing time to Sainz is not something that we particularly need to do. Lap 15, Norris still leading from Verstappen. Gasly is sticking this out, but for how much longer? Not for too much longer. Lap 16, into the pits comes Daniel Ricciardo, and they got the strategy absolutely wrong. He's in for the wet compounder tyre now, and he's going to go all the way down to the back. Pierre Gasly, I would expect to not be too far behind him. Let's have a look. Where is Hauger? P13 at the minute. He's probably going to catch Gasly as well. Fittipaldi is running away now from Carlos Sainz behind. He's not that far off Lawson, who has got a mechanical fault, it must be said. Let's just have a look at this overtake from Fittipaldi on Gasly as well. You can see Carlos Sainz looking for the inside line, but Fittipaldi makes sure he got there first. Lovely move from Fittipaldi. Our drivers at the moment are excelling in the wet conditions, and we are here for it. Hauger has got Gasly as well. Gasly is just tumbling down the order in these intermediate tyres. It's nice that a strategy call has been so poor, and it's not one of ours for a change. As we can see, Hauger get past Gasly there. Gasly, as you know, he's now seen enough, and he's into the wet compounder tyres. Sometimes you've just got to admit your mistake and suck it up, and Gasly has done certainly that. So now Fittipaldi has just been overtaken by Carlos Sainz. Now he's got Bottas 1.3 behind. He doesn't really want to be fighting with Sainz if he could help it. Sainz could actually help him here, but Fittipaldi's continuing to fight this. Do not get forced wide, and he doesn't. He just about keeps it round the outside. Lovely work from Fittipaldi. We'll take that all day long. We're managing these tyres beautifully as well. Russell, and in particular Leclerc, is struggling. Hauger now up to P12. Is he in the fight for points today? Let's have a look. When is it going to go to damp conditions? There's going to be a period where we go from wets to mediums. Mediums should take us home towards the end. Do we switch to inters? We will see. And on lap 28, despite all the good work from Fittipaldi, sometimes you've just got to accept we don't have the pace. And Lance Stroll managed to get around the outside. Great work from Lance. That's him up to P11. Now, it must be said, we're keeping an eye on this map here. We can see there at the moment, we're expecting a spike of rain in a minute, and it's just not quite coming. But hopefully in the next couple of moments it will. Verstappen's now got a problem. Lawson's still got a problem. Fittipaldi and Hauger are there. If Lawson's engine does blow up, we are going to be there to pick up the pieces. Fittipaldi's just made a mistake, and the overtake didn't quite work. We're still trying to look after his tyres. I think our tyres are going to be in better nick than anyone's. We've got a yellow flag on circuit now. We've just been told we've had a crash. We're going to have a little look. Hauger was shouting a few expletives down the radio. Porsche into turn one. Let's have a little look. Just taps the back of Hauger now. That could have caused him a puncture. Is Porsche, has he got front wing damage? Let's have a little look at this. It doesn't look as though he has. So Porsche might have got away with that one. Hauger certainly got away with that one. He's still on 59% tyres, so no harm done at this moment. Verstappen and Lawson really struggling at this moment in time. Tyre-wise, we're looking rather good in comparison to the rest of the field. So don't write us off yet. It's under investigation, the Porsche and Hauger. No penalties given. No further action taken from the stewards. Still in the fight for points. Liam Lawson is struggling with a mechanical fault, and he's struggling even more now because just have a little look at this. Liam Lawson locking up into turn one, carried straight on. He managed to get back on circuit before Hauger was on the scene. But just let me point this out to you, because now Fittipaldi's got past him. Beautiful work. We're just trying to manage these tyres, and there's a reason why. Because as you can see, the people in front of us in the 40s, Lawson in the 44s, there is going to be a drying out period that's going to take us to intermediates, then onto the dries towards the end. Now, the interesting part of this is, if our tyres are in better nick, we should gain some serious positions during that drop-off period, and that is the plan at the moment. But Fittipaldi is now running in the points, and Hauger is not that far behind. There's some cars into the pits, there's other cars that aren't, and we're one of the cars that's decided to come in. We reckon intermediates are the way to go. There's going to be a good drying off period here, and we're going to get onto the intermediates. We are not taking the risk, which is quite interesting. Fittipaldi is going to be first into the box. Are we going to get a decent pit stop? It looks that way. 2.4 seconds. Beautiful. Are we going to get a second decent pit stop? It's beautiful work. Or is it? We get held a little bit with Hauger as the RB comes into the pits. But Fittipaldi's out in front of Lawson. We're now on the correct tyre. This could be the moment again where our cars can really push on and make this count. And we're certainly going to do that now. We're not going to click that button. We'll see. We're getting all excited here at this moment in time. Full attack mode now on both cars. Hauger's out in P15. It's not gone brilliantly for him, but now full attack mode with both Lotuses. You join us back on lap 46. We can see Hauger and Lawson are going at it. Let's just have a little look at Hauger overtaking Lawson, and this could be a very crucial overtake, because what this is doing is stopping that Ferrari getting anywhere near his teammate. And Hauger, beautiful work from him onto the start finish straight. We can see that everybody's now put onto Inters, but Fittipaldi is in P9 just behind Checo Perez, and this is working well once again. 2.7 seconds in front of Stroll, but crucially 4 seconds in front of Hauger. As long as Fittipaldi doesn't make any mistakes and we get the strategy right, this could be our first points. Verstappen has got a major mechanical fault, and this could also play into our hands. It looks like Verstappen's day could be done. We can see Leclerc, Russell, they're all gaining on him, but Verstappen is now struggling at this moment in time. Fittipaldi coming around the start, coming around sector 3. Verstappen is well in front of him at the minute, but what could happen here? Who is a lap down, by the way? Everybody from Hulkenberg downwards. So lap 46, Norris leads from Piastri. It's going to be a McLaren front row. Sorry, a McLaren top 2, but Verstappen looks like his race is done. Lance Stroll has caught Fittipaldi and overtaken Fittipaldi, and now all we've got to do, Hauger has got to hold up the cars behind and make sure that he does not get overtaken and nobody can get Fittipaldi. So there we go, Lance Stroll getting through for P9. P10 at the moment for Fittipaldi. Can Hauger hold up Lawson? Lawson struggling with a mechanical fault, and now the Ferrari of Charles Leclerc is as well. The cars in front of Fittipaldi are struggling. Will any of them retire in this race on lap 48? We're keeping an eye once again on the weather chart. We're not expecting it to get dry just yet, but we're managing this beautifully. Hauger and Zhou are fighting it out, and he's just got overtaken by Zhou Guanyu. And I've said to Hauger, you've got to get back in front of him, and my word, has he. And now you hold up that Toyota. You do not let that Toyota pass. You just bet as we cut back, he's past him. He hasn't. He's now holding up the Toyota of Zhou Guanyu. Hauger is doing the team game here. Remember, Magnussen and Hulkenberg in Jeddah in real life this season. Well, we're trying to play the team game too. We're keeping an eye once again on when the track is going to be dry, and we're now going to start attacking on these tyres for both cars, because we can see that the dry period is coming. Possibly the most crucial pit stops of the season are about to happen in front of your very, very eyes, because Fittipaldi and Hauger are both coming into the pits. We've got a little bit more breathing space this time with the two cars. What has Perez gone on to? He's gone on to softs. We're going on to softs as well. What can he do here, Fittipaldi? Please, no mistakes, guys. No mistakes. 2.7 seconds will take it. Hauger is coming in behind him. It's another set of soft compound tyres for Hauger as well. Is it a decent stop? He certainly is. Both cars are in and out beautifully. We've got cars around us that stayed out on the intermediates. Is Fittipaldi going to get any traffic? He isn't. He's going to be out in clean air, is Fittipaldi, which is absolutely crucial. It is hammer time now for Fittipaldi. Oh, and Hauger's got a few cars in front of him. That is not ideal for him, but what can he do here as he now tries to push on? He's going to be told to be aggressive in the overtaking, but Fittipaldi's out in P12 and people are yet to pit in front. Hulkenberg, Zhou, Perez is out. Perez has managed to get out on circuit. Fittipaldi's out, but Zhou Guanyu is in, as is Hulkenberg. This is going to promote him. Bottas is still staying out at this moment in time, and it's a slow stop for Zhou Guanyu. Hauger pressing on as well here. You can see DRS wide open. He's now up to P12. Ocon still on intermediates, as is Valtteri Bottas. It's looking like points are coming to Lotus today, but my word, we have 5 laps to go. Lando Norris is in P1. Sainz has just pit from P4. Stroll and Bottas are staying out. Lap 67, George Russell, a new fastest lap of the Grand Prix. My word, Hauger's in P11. He's going to feel really hard done by here that he's not managing to get a point today, because he's done so well. We've got a yellow flag on circuit. What could this mean? Oh my word, it can't be Fittipaldi. Fittipaldi's got Bottas. If Fittipaldi makes a mistake now, I will sack him after this race on the spot. Fittipaldi, lovely move down the inside of Valtteri Bottas, and lovely move it was as well. Hauger is still in P11, 6.8 seconds behind Bottas. It doesn't look as though he's going to catch him today. He's just got the fastest first sector and a green middle sector. Could Hauger get the fastest lap of the Grand Prix here as he's pushing on? Hauger crosses the line, doesn't quite get the fastest lap of the Grand Prix. It's all eyes on Fittipaldi and Bottas now. 3 laps to go. Norris leads Verstappen. How that engine is holding out, I'm not quite sure. Zhou Guanyu's just got the fastest lap of the Grand Prix. Zhou Guanyu isn't going to catch Fittipaldi. We have got 3 laps to go. Final lap of the Grand Prix for Lando Norris, and final lap of the Grand Prix for Enzo Fittipaldi, who's just dropped out of the DRS of Valtteri Bottas. He's not managing to stay in that DRS, but at the moment, it doesn't really matter. Hauger's just got to conserve a little bit of fuel just to get himself to the end. Fittipaldi, could he possibly catch Valtteri Bottas? It's looking unlikely, unless Valtteri Bottas was to get in a little bit of a fight with Checo Perez, you may add. And it looks like at this moment he certainly is. Now what could happen? Because Fittipaldi is trying his utmost, 1.1 seconds behind. The 2 in front of him are fighting cat and mouse for P8. Is he possibly going to catch up, and will he get a decent run to the line? I doubt he will. Lando Norris wins the Austrian Grand Prix from Piastri, but here is Enzo Fittipaldi pushing on. He's not quite going to get there. You can see he's not quite going to get there, but my word, across the line, it's been a long time coming, but Team Lotus score points in the season. Fair play to Enzo Fittipaldi. Wonderful drive from him, and Hauger coming around the final corner manages to get P11. Great work from him as well. He did the team job there. Oh, what a race that has been, ladies and gentlemen. Let's get to the podium.
And after such a fabulous drive here today, it's no surprise to see this man land on the podium.
6 wins now in this season. They're not flagging. A mighty impressive victory.
I wish they'd put some crowd noise on the podium, unless there's nobody watching live in the at the racetrack, I should say. But Lando Norris gets the champagne once again. McLaren 1-2, but do we care about that? Not a jot. As we see, Verstappen P3, Sainz 18 places gained. Fair play to you, a very smooth operator indeed. Russell in P5, Leclerc P6, then comes Stroll, Perez, Bottas. Fittipaldi scores a point for Team Lotus. It's Dennis Hauger in P11. We did have no DNS, but Lawson finished in P20. Valtteri Bottas getting the fastest lap of the Grand Prix. Driver standings wise, Lando Norris gains positions again. He's now on 241 points. It's 32 points from Max Verstappen. Piastri is gaining on him as well. Charles Leclerc in P4, Sainz in P5, but we go all the way down to Fittipaldi, who has scored a point and now goes to P15. Hauger drops to P17. Constructor standings wise, McLaren are top from Red Bull, Ferrari in P3 and Aston Martin in P4. But how nice is it that we are now on the board? We have 1 point, and you know what? We're only, 107 behind Mercedes? Who knows what we could do? But ladies and gentlemen, it's been a long time coming. If you've stuck with us for all that, I do appreciate it. Let me know what you thought of that race. It was one of the most exciting I've commentated on F1 Manager. Please do remember to like and subscribe, and I shall see you at Silverstone for the next one. Ta-ra.